the next part of time management is really understanding who you are, because the type of person you are is going to dictate what kind of time management strategies you might want to put in place. So I've broken down some personality types that I see pretty frequently, both in higher education and professionally. There's basically 4 types of people, right? So there are the fire putter outers. So they are constantly in crisis mode. Everything they have to do is like, it has to be done right now. They're freaking out. Their anxiety is like super high. When you're near them, your anxiety goes up, your blood pressure goes up, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I need to help them get this done because they are about to have a heart attack. No, they live their life in that state. They're probably fine. But if you see yourself in that description, there are some strategies that you can put in place to help your time management go a little bit smoother. So you might want to start each and every day with a 30-minute planning session, just getting down everything you need to do for the day. Feel that crisis up front, do it in private, and then take each one of those things and prioritize it. Find the top 3 things you have to get done today. And if the rest of your list doesn't get done, let it go. It's okay. Do it tomorrow. And it might be helpful if you physically write this down rather than using something digital. And I say that, especially like if you could keep it like on a note card or even a sticky note, anything you could keep with you that you can constantly pull back out and refocus. Because what people like this tend to do is they take on other people's crises. So when someone else comes into your space and they're just like ratcheted up about something, these fire putter outers will immediately want to fix that. And so that really can get in the way of your personal productivity. And so if you find yourself doing that, put that sticky note somewhere where you can see it, that index card like propped up on your laptop, or that widget that constantly stays open on your tablet that just says, hey, don't forget, you have these 3 things. These are your things today. And it's not always going to be perfect, and that's okay. But I think the more you know about yourself and the way that you respond to new tasks coming in daily, the better you're going to be able to tackle those things and approach them in a way that is efficient. So that's one type. Those are my type A kids. Those are like pre-nursing students, pre-med students. You know those kids. The next group are the overcommitters. You know these people. We're in a group with one of these people. They say yes to everything. Everything. You know you can go to them and say, can I get your notes from Friday? And they're going to give them to you. But they're not just going to give them to you for you to copy. They're going to make a copy for you. And they're probably going to put some extra highlights in it because you might not understand their notes. And then they're probably also running for like school board and beta club president. And they're the kicker of the football team. And they're also in marching band. I don't know how they play football and march at the same time, but they're probably doing it. Those people are exhausting. I don't know how they get anything done.
Yes.
And so the strategy, if you see yourself in that kind of bubble, is number 1, everyone probably loves you because you're probably one of the most dependable people they've ever met in their life because you always say yes to things. The strategy you want to use here is to kind of look out at the bigger picture, because when you're committing in a moment, you feel like, oh, I've got 5 minutes now, or that's only an hour a week. But if you're not looking at the bigger picture, then you can easily overtax yourself beyond the hours that you have available to you. So if you are this person, you might do better with a monthly view of everything that you have to do, so that you can see what days have 94 things on them, or what weekends are already committed, or how many different after school meetings you have, or like a bigger picture is probably a better way for you to be able to say, you know what, I really can't do that. That's really not something I have time for right now. And it would give you more time to play Animal Crossing, which is really important. You need your island to have 5 stars. It's very important.
And fun.
And so fun. So the third type of person that I'm going to describe are those super laid back, always happy, fly by the seat of their pants kind of people. I call these don't worry, be happy people, because it doesn't matter what mode I'm in. This person is always like, it's going to be fine. We'll figure it out. This is probably also the person who says something like, did anybody die? Okay. These people are on another level. So I think that there are opportunities that these people really are needed in the group setting. And if you see yourself in this, you're probably one of those people who have 30 things that are all started, but none of them are finished. And you don't think to go back to them until there's a deadline. Like, I have to have this done right now, and I haven't thought about it in, 2 weeks, but I started it because I was talking about it, and then I moved off to something else. These people are going to really benefit from a to-do list every single day, and not moving to one thing, not moving to the next thing until the first thing is finished. And that is going to be a really hard structure for this type of person to live in, because it is against everything that they hold near and dear to who they are. But it is a strategy for being more effective and productive. If this person sees a month view, that's not really effective for them because they got time. That's not due for a while. I can probably play the game for a little bit, and then a deadline creeps up or passes and they're scrambling to get it finished. So these people could also probably use help from their peers to recognize that this is the kind of person they are and stop interrupting them, because this person will always stop and talk to you. They'll always chat with you, and they'll probably make you feel better about your day. And then the last type of person I want to talk about is the perfectionist. That person who redoes everything 9 times until it's perfect in their eyes. There's not anything inherently wrong with perfectionism, but it is a stressful way to live your life. And it's like painstaking detail that goes into every single thing that this person does. So they start a task and they redo it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And then it's done, and it's probably like typed and in a portfolio, and the front page is laminated, and like it looks perfect. Like you could turn this in for like college application kind of stuff. Those people, equally exhausting, because you're like, why did you do that? All I needed was for you to give me the phone number of the person that called 15 minutes ago. I didn't need their background. So strategies, if you see yourself as the perfectionist, which by the way, I am, that's exactly who I am, is to learn to embrace your small imperfections. Really find those mistakes and learn to love them and learn from them, and actually notice that no one else cares. When you get to the point that you can realize that the only person who's giving any sort of kicks about what you're doing is yourself, then you can move on to the next thing. So really the crux of time management is understanding who you are. And once you have that kind of relationship with yourself and you have a deeper understanding of what you need, you can manage you better. It's kind of incredible how all of these different types can still be hyper effective at the things that they do. It's not like one type is better than another. They all have pros, they all have cons, and you can work with all of them. So, and actually it takes all of these kinds of people to get most things in life done. So that's pretty cool.
A well-rounded person? I'm just curious. I need a little positive there. Maybe a well-rounded person if you can find yourself in any of those categories at some certain time.
I think there's situations where we all find ourselves in these categories.
I would definitely agree.
And I would say, go ahead, Jose.
I think they all have like their pros and cons too. So it's not like one is the best kind,
No.
because like you mentioned some positives and negatives for each one of them. I think of, for example, the don't worry one. While it might not be someone who is feeling that anxiety and stress all the time, they eventually find themselves in a crunch. And then folks who are perfectionists will a lot of times feel like they get frustrated, and they're over exerting themselves to create something that's really not it's not necessary that it's that like refined, but they also get a sense of satisfaction and pride from the work that they produce. So it's
Absolutely.
almost like that flip side of the positive end, that they really value what they're working on. um, the overcommitment one, while you might say yes to everything, you're probably someone who really is like a goal setting person. Like you're always setting goals, you're always trying to do a lot of things. And there's also maybe some pride that comes with all the things that you've been able to check off those lists, the crossing off the to-do list, because you're trying to accomplish so much all the time. But it can also have the double,
Yeah.
the other side of that sword where, well, you're running out of time to relax or spend time with your friends or family, or just relax. Yeah.
And in times of like deep stress, my guess is we probably exhibit the exact opposite of whatever we are normally. So when I am crazy stressed out, perfectionism goes out the window and my super detailed orientedness is gone. I make really crazy mistakes. Um, and it's just a natural process, right? So we just flip
Mm-hmm.
and things still get done. Um, but it's hard to make a plan for managing your time or um, really creating priorities in your life if you don't understand kind of how you react to things coming in, because you can make a plan, and we do this all the time, for a day or a week, and it gets completely shot in the first hour that you're awake on Monday morning. Everything has been put into the Yahtzee cup and thrown back out, and you've got to roll with it on your feet. And if you understand your personality type and how you process that, you can regroup much more quickly than you would be able to if you were just flying by the seat of your pants or trying to do it the way somebody else does it. I think that there's a whole lot of comparison that happens, especially when we talk about how we measure success and how we measure productivity. Um, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's okay to some extent, but you have to understand that you are not going to do it exactly the same way that someone else does with the exact same result. Unless you're in a science lab, that's not the way life works. Um, so getting a greater understanding of you and your process and how you deal with things is only going to make you more effective as you start applying yourself to different tasks.